Hello and welcome to the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast with Jeremiah Jennings. While still in his early 20s, Jeremiah already runs a successful six-figure lawn maintenance company. Listen in as he and his guests share the things that have brought them success that can help you in your business. As a young entrepreneur in the green industry, Jeremiah emphasizes the tips and tricks involved in running a lawn maintenance business while discussing the principles applying to all small businesses. If you're wanting to grow, become profitable and professional, you're in the right place. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode here on the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and man, this is a special episode today. This thing is just going to be a banger of an episode, and let me just preface it beforehand, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone out there. I like to stay humble on the podcast. I like to say thank you a lot. I want to say thank you today more than I ever have, probably, because today marks our 50th episode. And if you're listening live, this is a Friday heading into the weekend, right before the new year, the week before Christmas. And I tell you guys, when I decided to start this podcast 6 months ago, just about, I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to get 5 episodes in, 10 episodes. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I'll be honest with you, I like keeping it open on the podcast. We're not where I want to be. The audience is not as big as I want it to be, but I can't get caught up in the numbers. That's what I have to remind myself is I'm trying to build a family here. I want to build relationships. And so I can't get caught up in the numbers. So I say I'm not where I want to be. I don't really care about the numbers so much. I just want to reach a bigger audience. I want to grow the audience bigger so I can help more people. It's not about numbers and who's listening and who's not. I just want to help more people. And so if that's you out there and you've been listening from the beginning, thank you all so much for tuning in. We have, like I said, we have 50 episodes, 49 episodes under our belt. 50 is what you're about to listen to, and it is, I mean, one of the most special guests that we could get, if not the most special. The guy who really got me into this, got me into the social media thing, and just kind of has just really started my journey in the social media world. Somebody I really look up to and admire, and I consider him a mentor to me. We get to talk every now and then. We stay in touch, but look forward to getting to know him even more in the future. But it is none other than Brian Fullerton. And I know everybody out there who's listening knows who Brian is, and he's just a really great guy. He's given so much back of his time, his money to the community. And that stuff is just, it can never go unnoticed and unthanked. And I personally want to thank Brian. Before we hop into the show today, I want to thank him for joining us. I want to thank him for the content that he has put out for all of us to hear. And over these past couple of years, he's been in it and just helped so many people. I'm glad he is getting rewarded for what he's got. And I'm his biggest fan. I hope he continues to win. And I hope he I just hope he continues to win and people keep supporting him and let all the haters keep hating. But if you're a true follower of social media, you'll notice that he is one of the most influential people in the green industry, and he deserves to be. He deserves the right, and because he has given so much of his time unasked. I mean, people haven't asked him to do it when he started. He wasn't doing it for money, and so I'm glad he's getting rewarded for it. I'm honored to have him on the show today. We dive into some really fun stuff in this episode, just some real life topics, some real life discussions that you won't really find anywhere else. This is a in-depth conversation I have with Brian, and I love it. I'm thankful that I was honored to be able to do it. I hope that the relationship that we have continues to grow in the future. I hope we can continue to keep bringing y'all quality content. And so that's going to wrap up this little preface here, the pre-show of the podcast. Just wanted to give y'all all a heads up for what's coming, so don't leave, stay tuned, and I want to say thank you. And with that, I guess what else can we do than kick it over to the show sponsor, Launchpreneur Academy today. I want to thank them for sponsoring and coming along with us and helping the show out. And it's a Brian thing there. It's his program that he's got online. I've ordered stuff off there personally that's changed my business. Heading into the spring, I know there's stuff that you can get that will change your business as well. So go check it out. The link will be in the show notes. Let's hear a word from them, and then we're going to hop right on into today's interview with Brian Fullerton of Brian's Lawn Maintenance.
No doubt that some of you have tuned into this podcast because you've just started or you want to start your own lawn care or landscaping business. Brian has created the How to Start Your Own Lawn Care Business training program. This video course will help you understand the basics and get you moving in the right direction. Some of the topics covered: the startup phase and laying a great foundation, the basics of equipment shopping and purchasing, what to look for when you're shopping for a trailer, I really like the All Things Marketing and Advertising section. The practical tips here alone are worth the cost. The How to Start Your Own Lawn Care Business training program also shows you how to bid and estimate projects. That's helpful just to even see if you want to take on some projects. Brian also shows you best practices for back-end office work and proper workflow. Click the link in the show description for LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com and get the How to Start Your Own Lawn Care Business training program for only $99. And join the thousands of people that we've helped achieve success with their lawn care company.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Growing Green Landscapes podcast. We have an awesome guest today. This is actually a huge episode for us. It's a milestone. So I do want to preface this episode by saying it is episode 50. If you saw that in the title, it is episode 50 for us. We started this thing about 6 months ago, and it's just been such a journey getting to this point. I didn't know if I would get 5 episodes out, but to get to 50 is just a huge milestone, and it's just an honor. It's a blessing. It's an honor to be able to do this. Give back to the community one little bit at a time. I mean, that's my motto. Is I want to give back with just one little small piece of advice if I can, and I've learned so much from other social media guys out there, books that I've read, just little bits and pieces of stuff that I wish I would have known when I started 3 years ago. And I probably would be 3 years ahead of where I am now if I would have known that. So I do want to say thanks to every one of you that have listened up to this point and gotten us to episode 50. It's just a huge blessing to be here, and I can't wait for what today holds. And we brought in a very special guest. I know everybody on here that's listening is going to know him. And I thought I had to bring him on because it's just, like I said, it's so special, and I might as well bring on the guy that kind of got me into the social media world of things. One of the major players, and none other than Brian Fullerton. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Just sitting here late night. Well, not too late. Just on a Friday night, hanging out, and rainy weather today. So we were bringing out a bunch of podcasts. I know you were getting some stuff done behind the scenes, and I'm glad we got this thing set up, and just kind of want to kick it back tonight, and just, I don't know, I just want to have some good conversations, talk real life stuff, and see if we can help somebody else out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you let me have some time on the show, and I'm a huge fan. I actually listen to the podcast quite a bit. We haven't really had too much time to listen to podcasts the last few weeks because it's we're not really mowing, obviously. We've been done with that for about a month. We're doing some leaf cleanups, but leaves have been tough to get to when you got snow on the ground. So up in Michigan, we call it pure Michigan, and that means it's pure chaos. You never know what's going to happen. It's 1 week it's leaves, 1 week it's snow, 1 week you could be mowing grass. It's just next week you're chainsawing down, fallen limbs because of a windstorm.
Yeah.
Which has kind of been like the story up here, but actually we should be doing some more leaf cleanups next week. It's like 55-degree warm snap up here in Michigan, which is go mode for us. It's all hands on deck. We're going to be banging out another dozen cleanups, making that money. And we're trying to sprint to the finish line. We still got about 21 days left of the year. And I want to pad stats and get as much revenue on the books as we can. And it just makes it that much more of a challenge for next year to grow and make sure that we're over this year. Right. So it's never ending battle, man. But no, thanks for having me on the show. And dude, congratulations at 50 episodes. That's actually really, really cool. And hitting those benchmarks, your first 10 episodes, your first 50 episodes, your first 100 episodes is it's a commitment, man. And you didn't just like bang out 50 in like a month. You did 50 over almost a year, I think now. And that's a commitment, bro. So great job over there for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It means a lot that you supported the show, and other guys out there that I've looked up to for a long time are supporting the show. And we're nothing huge. Like I said, I mean, we don't have any huge numbers. We don't have a huge social media following. But for everybody that's out there listening, I feel like we have a pretty tight community that does listen to the podcast. Our numbers are pretty steady, and I always get a lot of the same feedback from a lot of guys. So I'm glad that we're out there building. That's kind of what my slogan is build the community one relationship at a time. And that's what I'm in it for, is relationships and helping people in the long run. And that it's all, we want to make money. We want to have successful businesses to make money, but at the end of the day, it's not all about money. Money is not going to go with you when you die. It's temporary, and it's all about family and your relationship with Christ, and just such a bigger picture in life. But we do want to come on here and talk about numbers and how to run your business all the time, but there are times to talk about life, and I think that's what we're going to do a lot of today. Is I just want to get on. I mean, Brian, you've been so successful in what you've done, and I know. I mean, we don't need to go through your whole backstory. Anybody that's listening to this show knows your backstory, knows your history, and how you've gotten to this point. But I think one thing that you can take away, one that anybody listening can take away, is just your determination and your perseverance through struggles and through time is what's gotten you to today. And I think kind of talk a little bit about, if you can, just what all you have kind of determined in your mind, your goal setting and your just your vision that you're casting for your family's future. Because, and we'll talk about this at the end of the show, your why, what your reasoning is for doing what you do. But just kind of, I don't know, just kind of talk to everybody about your vision and why you are, how you got into it, and what's making you keep going every day, and why you're setting such big goals for yourself and the adversity that you've overcome. I know you've had, you weren't brought up with all a silver spoon in your hand, and you worked for what you have, and it's not something that you just got overnight. I mean, you've worked a lot for it. So just kind of, I don't know, if you could give some advice to somebody out there that's like trying to set those goals, and we're at the end of the year here. We got January 1 coming up, and that's such an important time to be setting goals, and I don't think there's anybody else better to talk about it than you. So kind of talk about the importance of goal setting and vision casting that you do.
Well, yeah, I'll preface it without my whole story, but I'll preface it with, I'm just another dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't profess to be the guru. I don't have it all figured out. If I did, I'd be further along, right? I would say my first 10, 11 years in business were pretty rough. I didn't really have a lot of things going for me. I didn't have a lot of things figured out by any means. I always aspired for more, but everybody aspires for more. And it was a very vague more. It was just grow to grow. We're going to do more than we did last year, or we're just stuck in ruts and habits that maybe were profitable, maybe they weren't profitable, right? We were just in this like hypnotic rhythm, right? If you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about this hypnotic rhythm that you can be in life, and you don't want to be in that for too long. It's kind of like you're in the fog, or you're just kind of zombieing through life, or maybe like you're driving down the road and you just, I don't know, you kind of like snap, you come to, and you realize like, dude, I've been driving for 4 miles. I don't even know how I got here. Like zombie driving. We learned that back when I was working for a fertilizer company. And so you always want to be alert and attentive. So all that just to say is, I think we kind of snapped out of the fog. What was really the catalyst for me was just my family, dude. When I was a single guy, I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. My needs were met, right? So needs and wants are different, right? Like wants are things that we would like to have, but we don't need to have them. A need is obviously, by definition, it's a need. So you need shelter, you need food, you need clothing. But wants, like if I want a Ferrari, I want a Lamborghini, I want a helicopter, I want a $1 million home, right? But do I need them? I don't know. Some people yes, some people no. And if you want them, you got to go work for them. So, which is obvious, but here's the long story short. Like my needs were met, I was content. But then I met my wife, and I just realized she was a big dreamer too. And when I started sharing some of my dreams that maybe were smoldered, they were just like coals because the fire wasn't really blazing anymore. Because I'd been 10 years in life and in business. Not too many things were going on successful wise, like I had no money, no cars, no watches, no clothes, no nothing material. I was happy. I just didn't have a lot of stuff. And I just realized when I met my wife, engaged my wife, married my wife, and I just go back to like the altar, and almost any dude that, is married their girl, they've spun the dream, right? They're like, hey, if you live with me, like we'll have the house and the car, and you can be a stay-home mom, and you'll have like the nice jewelry and all this other mess. And it wasn't like this huge, multi-millionaire lifestyle I was trying to promise her, but I just wanted to get her the first class life. And I just realized like I wasn't really performing after about a year or two in marriage. She was working a job. She hated it. She was in a little crappy, like 2009 Volkswagen Jetta. You get 6 inches of snow up here in Michigan, and she's got to go to she was working in a hearing office, a doctor's office. And she's, ice skating to work in the little Jetta with little summer tires. And I'm like packing her little sack lunch and all that crap. Wearing, like shoes that weren't designer or nice, and clothes that weren't designer or nice, or we didn't have time to work out. We were just stressed out. They were just stressed out.
Yeah.
So I just realized, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I just kind of drew a line in the sand, and I'm like, I have got to start performing in life and really define what I want our life to start looking like. Because when I was trying to just do a bunch of work, I was hoping it would pan out versus being intentional and like figuring out how I wanted to live and work backwards to attain that. And so I'm not a hero. I'm actually very average, probably a little mentally deficient compared to half you guys listening in.
Coming off that thankfulness and gratitude episode, I just listened to that last night. I would have to agree with that statement a little bit.
Did you listen to yesterday's episode or whatever?
Yeah, it was the one that you and Liz were up so late. The thankfulness, the gratitude episode.
Oh my god, dude! That episode is like probably my favorite one.
It's probably the highest download rate, honestly. I mean,
that is one of my favorite episodes. I think that was episode 270, I don't know, 1 or 270 or something.
Yeah.
That you got to listen to the last 15 minutes. We got loopy. well, and that's like us. Like, yeah. I realized, like, hey, we're not super smart. I realized we needed to like learn success principles, right? Whether you like it or not, like you got to learn how to be successful if you want to be successful. Duh. And so that was just my catalyst. I had this girl that I promised the world to. I had to grow up. I had to get my business right. Now, what I didn't expect was how I was going to get there. You know, I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, hey, I got to go from point A to point B. And you ever see like little infographics like on Instagram, little memes, and it's like what people think success is like a straight line, but really it's like this jagged line that goes over a bridge into a shark pit, down a valley, then he climbs up a mountain and he like finishes all like tattered, you know. Mm-hmm. That's basically been the last 5 years. Like, I didn't know how we would get to the life we're kind of starting to live today, which isn't a finished product. It's just the first life I wanted to design for our family. We're just literally starting to cross the finish line to get to that like checkpoint or that first peak. If you like know what the peak principle is, like you get to the first mountain and then you're like, man, we did it. But then you like look out and there's like a bigger mountain, but the little mountain, the little mountain blocked the big mountain. Right. So, so that's been, you know, kind of like the last little while, but honestly, dude, we're just, we when you start having these like little wins and little successes, you realize, hey, like maybe if I put myself out there, and I extend myself more than I'm comfortable with or familiar with, and you start getting these little wins, it gives you some self-confidence. It gives you some momentum. And it's interesting because every time you re-up and you extend yourself out there, you have a bigger, you're higher up, you have a higher level to fall down, right? Yeah. So it's like buying a trimmer for $300. You stretch to go buy a trimmer for $300, and then you come up with $150 cash, and you pay off the balance over 3 months, and you know you're rocking and rolling. And then next year you're like, hey, I need a trimmer and a blower. You paid cash for the trimmer, and then you put $200 down on the blower, and then you grew from there. But that's how I started. Probably how a lot of other people started. But then you buy like a $10,000 lawnmower, right? And you're like, dude, what am I doing? This is $250 a month for like ever.
Yeah. 60 months is such a long time.
Oh my God, dude! Like, dude, you ain't kidding. And then you get that, and you end up paying it off. Let's say 3 years out of the 4-year note. Mm-hmm. But then the next one you buy, you maybe pay cash because you just continue to grow. So I don't think there's any other silver bullet or secret to like anything that we've been doing lately. It's we're trying to get out of our comfort zone. We're trying to do a little bit every day and just keep on keeping on. And I think what some people see now might be a little of the external rewards or benefits or perks, but man, there's what's behind that is 10,000 hours of just hustle, try, fail, adjust, and a plan, and a goal, and a game plan. And because we're not the most intelligent people, we had to like really stick to a goal and a game plan. And I told Liz, I'm like, let's just work the plan. Let's just work the plan. And so I don't know if that helps anybody. It does for me, because I don't know, man. Every time I get around wealthy people or like a nice area of town, or you go to like a beach resort and there's $1 million yachts. You just wonder, like, how did these people get here? And you realize, like, they just did the exact same thing for a little bit longer, maybe for a little bit more intensity, or maybe took on a little bit more risk.
Yeah.
Right. But they're doing the exact same thing. And I just realized, like, dude, they're no more special than I am. And I can get nice things and do nice, have nice things and take care of my wife. So I think it's been like the last 4 or 5 years, but, to go full circle, I didn't expect, all the YouTube crap, social media stuff, which we are not like anybody special or fancy or dude, you go listen to episode 270 or whatever it is, and you'll realize we'll
put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, dude, it's just so funny. Like, people think one way when they consume your content, and then you get to see us in real life or on a podcast episode, that we're beyond averagely normal people. Yeah. Like, we're just normal people like you guys listening into the show. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, for sure. And it's one of those things that it's like, I can totally attest to that. And I know you haven't heard literally every episode we've put out, but we've talked about that before, is how I've gotten to grow a small bit of a relationship with you and with Paul. And it's like, it's been such an honor by creating the podcast. I've made a bunch of connections and we're giving back to the community. I've also built some relationships, and in those relationships, it's some of the stuff that not everyone sees. And it's like, I can totally attest that you're just a normal dude. Like, you're just sitting back, hanging out in your office chair, like having a good time. And it's not like you're steps above anyone else. You're just hanging out with people. And it's the same way with like Caleb Allman. Dude's one of the most successful people ever, but he's just so genuine. And that's why you're friends with him. It's like, how much better does it get than that? And it's
well, I'll add, I'm grateful and thankful that people still call me and want to hang out with me,
Yeah.
Because everybody's got that veil, right? And everybody has that facade or the whatever. But then, like, you get to know people, and I'm grateful that people don't judge me. Like, they still accept me for who I am. Maybe I'm not as smart or not as successful or not as good with people, or my personality is not as like outgoing, and he's kind of, somebody could misconstrue that he's a jerk or a narcissist, right? And it's like no, dude, we're just normal people just trying to help people too. But like, there's so many guys that I know on your show that I've been able to be friends with and befriend. Not everybody. I don't know everybody that because you're in a different market and region.
For sure,
all that kind of stuff. But I would hope that I could call those people friends and they can call me a friend, and we're just literally trying to help each other out. But one thing I will say with social media is, you and I are a great example of this, and Caleb as well. And I didn't know you from Adam outside of creating all this content together. I bumped into you, I think, honestly, for the first time
in person. It was together in the trades.
Yeah, outside at the Magnolia Market or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Hey, I'm Jeremiah Jennings," and I'm like, "I'm Brian Fullerton. What's up, dude?"
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just cool, like, getting to meet people and make friendships, and dude, we're just getting to know each other. We've only known each other for 6 months.
Yeah.
And so it's people listening into the show. It's like, well, where do I have a role in this community, or where do I have a role in this space or the social media stuff, or how can this stuff help me? I mean, all good questions. And I think you can participate as much as you want. You can take as much away from all the content as you want. You can pour into the content as much as you want. There's so many people that have a podcast, and you might only get 20 downloads a week or an episode. Like, dude, that doesn't mean that some guy getting 50,000 is more important than somebody who's getting 25. I don't know anybody who's getting $50,000 downloads a month that thinks that way, number one. But number two, if you're only getting, you were telling me some of your numbers, and I'm like, dude, I am so freaking pumped for you. Like, I didn't have that kind of success out of the gate. No way in hell. So
yeah.
I just think it's a lot of fun getting to see what everybody's doing out there in the industry,
It is. It's awesome where it's going. And it's one of those things, like, I mean, I've told everybody about my whole kind of thing, and it's I haven't been in the social media world that long, and I'm still not, like, I create a podcast and I have a tiny Instagram, like, that's about it. But it's so cool seeing, like, the community come together and just be one, and, like, the difference in, I mean, I've only been in it probably a year and a half now, and just the difference how far we've come in a year and a half is insane, and where we're going, and it's like, there's just, everybody sticks together, and it's really like, it's unlike any trade, any other business, anything that I've ever seen come together. Like so many people. I mean, you can attest to that. You're in a lot of different spheres. You got a big YouTube following. I mean, I know you know people outside of this industry as well. Would you agree with that? I mean, have you seen anything outside of the green industry, quote unquote, green industry, landscaping, hardscaping, that type of thing, with a community as tight as what we have right now?
That's a good question. I would say other than like political like atmospheres, like the young conservative students,
that is true, yeah.
or like I've seen like political maybe groups and organizations. They're they're kind of like a fraternity, right? They're like fraternal. I don't know anybody else because it is a very everybody's trying to get theirs, kind of a world, and that's fine. I get it. But I've always I said this from day one on my podcast or my YouTube channel. If we ever made it about the money or the numbers, we would do it for the money and the numbers, and that would ruin us.
Yeah.
And so I cannot speak for everybody in the community. There's a lot of people who drink the same Kool-Aid, right, like we do, and they're all on board and they're having a good time. And it's kumbaya. There's of course rotten apples in the group, the bunch that happens. But I would say generally speaking, like everybody's been super cool to know and to work with, and everybody wants to see the newest guy win and succeed and give them the tools and the resources. And I don't know, it's just a very interesting thing that we have going on in the lawn care community and industry, for sure. And I think it's going through a crazy transformation, because if you think about it, like if you slow down the speed up and you kind of zoom out, we're giving away the secrets that we've all these OG guys have been accumulating for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like we're actually all competition technically, right?
Yeah, technically.
Technically, but like
I don't see anyone that way though.
No, yeah, I don't. I mean, I get people all the time like, are people going to steal your accounts or steal your guys? And I go, I don't think so. It hasn't happened yet. It's been 5 years and 30 million views. Like, I just don't think that's how it works in real life. I think you're taught that in school, that, you shouldn't talk to people, you shouldn't cheat, you shouldn't collab, if you will, which is what cheating is. Then you become an entrepreneur and you realize like collaboration is everything. And
give me more of it.
Yeah, networking, community, subcontractors, right? Like we all win together. So I don't know. I just think it's a very interesting dynamic, like for an industry that's so guarded with best practices, how in the last 4 or 5 years, it's done a 180.
Yeah.
And some people like that. Some people don't like that. Frankly, I don't care. I'm going to help as many people as I can, because I was that dude in the desert for a decade. And, Jeremiah, you've interviewed some of these, I call them kids. You'd be a kid to me, 22, right? But these young guys that are chiseling out a $200,000-$300,000 business at 20
insane.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so encouraging. So that's why I always say, like, I joke, and some people think this is like a like a backhanded comment, but I'm always like, hey, remember me when you're famous, because the sun doesn't shine on everybody
Send
forever.
some money my way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, don't forget me when you guys are all famous on TikTok. You got the $10 million contractor business in your city,
Yeah. Yeah. Everything you said is so right. And I think, and I'm not going to sit here and like toot your horn. Okay. We all know, I know everybody is a big Brian fan. You're an awesome guy, but I just want to shoot straight with everyone out there. And I want to tell you this personally from like my point of view is, I think you are someone that, and you know what you've done to get to where you are. You're a huge leader in the industry, and I don't think we would be where we are today with the community and everyone sticking together and being on the same page if it wasn't for the way that if you were in it for the money and if you were in it for the views, because it's I coach high school basketball, and I tell guys on my team, I have kids that are coming up right now, and they're like juniors, and they've never been in a leadership role. And leadership is so huge to me, and I'm trying to. I want to eat up as much leadership content as I can, and just feed off of that. And I tell these kids in practices and in games, and I'm like, look, you might have never been in this leadership role before, but there's someone that is always looking up to you at every point. They're going to follow you. You could be a freshman. You could be a sophomore. You could be a senior. Someone's looking up to you. And the position that you have held, the platform that you've held, there's been people looking up looking up to you from day one. And if you were in it for the views, and it's not just to say you, it's all the other guys out there that have been influencers and have helped get the social media thing grown so much in the green industry. If y'all were in it for the views and the money, it wouldn't be the way it is because they would follow that. Does that make sense? Is that coming across? Like, yeah. Am I clear? I don't know. I'm stumbling over my words here, but I'm like, if y'all were doing it for that, if y'all were doing it that way, the new up and comers that you're saying you want to support the new guys, that I would follow you. So I would be like, oh man, it's all about the views and the money, and that's all it's about. And like, so y'all, there's so much that y'all. You take credit for, and it's not to say that you are any better than anyone else, but you deserve some credit and respect there in that aspect of, dude, you're just being a kind, genuine person, and you're helping other people, and it's helped the community get so far. And if we ever lose that, that's what scares me. Is look, it's not going to happen forever. You're not going to be making YouTube videos at 70 years old. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But yeah, there's going to be a time where new generations come in and new things happen, and it's kind of where we're at in the world today with the younger generation that's coming up. Like, we are at a point where if that leadership dies off and it turns into all views, all numbers, all money, then what are we going to be doing it for? Like, what are we doing? And that's scary.
Well, I love what you said there about the leadership stuff too, because I'm a big John Maxwell fan. I've read a lot, seen a lot, studied a lot. Try to model a lot after stuff I've learned from him and many other people. But it's like, it goes back to the good old, like, one, like, how do you spell leadership? EXAMPLE. And so I say that is because I wouldn't say, here's one thing I've heard is, like, everybody wants to be a leader, but how do you actually become a leader? Is if you want to be the biggest leader, you become the biggest server.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I've never said I'm a leader, or I want to be a leader, or I don't even want to be in a leader role. I'll be honest with you. Like, I've said this once or twice before, but I've said I'd rather be the second biggest guy in YouTube that you've ever known, and not take the tip of the spear, the heat, the friction at the point of the spear, as the biggest guy, right? Like, yeah. I would love to be the second biggest guy. Because you don't get as much hate, you don't get as much negativity, you don't get as much, you're in it for the money, you're in it for this, you're in it for that. And I'm like, just maybe, and you can't argue with idiots, but the reality is, like, if it maybe somebody's in their biggest role, just maybe, because their mind is probably the most right with their heart and their decision making.
Yeah.
And not to, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, like, you look at a guy like
being
Stanley,
honest. I mean,
well, you look at a guy like Stanley Dirt Monkey, and he's got a huge following in construction and demolition, but he's also the most kind, generous, giving, others focused dude. I mean, you run to GIE Plus Expo, and he'll be running to, one booth to another to go shoot a video for some company, which is awesome. But he'll stop and talk to you for 5 minutes. Now, he's got to get going because he's got a lot to do. But Stanley's never like, who are you? Don't talk to me, And so, I just, I don't know, man. People are always watching, and here's what here's my true north. And this is something that I think everybody needs in life, is that true north. For me, it was, what if the Brian Fullerton of 10 or 15 years ago was watching this video? What would he say? What would he think? Would he adopt this? Would he buy this? Would he go out tomorrow and do this? Like, would it genuinely benefit him to make him more money?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll say, like, like, just to be as transparent as possible, there's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in brand deals that we leave on the table because it just doesn't line up with our values or our mission. And it doesn't mean that those companies are bad or wrong or evil, nothing like that. It just means no. It just means it's not a good fit for who we are, or what we're doing, and what we're trying to communicate. Now, somebody else in the community might get a brand deal, and it's funny because being the bigger channel, usually I see the brand deals, and then I say no, they go to somebody else, which is funny. And it doesn't mean that somebody else's values is wrong or different. It just means their mission for what they're doing with their channel is a little different than what mine is.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
You can't have like 10 of the exact same channels. I mean, stuff has to be different. Stuff has to be different.
And who would want to watch the same 10 channels? That would be, gosh, can you imagine like 10 of the same? I mean, Sean Spencer's a good dude, but I don't think we need 10 Sean Spencers.
No.
I like my content, but my gosh, it would be the most dry, boring YouTube world ever if you had 10 of my channels. We're not that funny or tell many jokes on my channel, but my point is that like it's for Liz and I, it has to be others focused, and that is not it's not like that's not a soundbite. I think we've tried to prove that over the last 5 years that it's not just something to say so we keep brand deals or we keep people teased. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It's genuine because I tell Liz all the time, I'm like, am I stupid for not going and just doing mowing tall grass videos only and getting 25 million views?
Yeah.
Like there's a couple $100,000 sitting there, like, hey, this lawnmower brand wants us to, ride on their different colored mower and they'll pay us $60,000. $60,000 does a lot of,
goes a long way.
That goes a long way. You know what I'm saying, brother? Especially when you're trying to build a house,
Yep.
And this software company and that software company. And it's just like, what is the Brian Fullerton? And by the way, I use this avatar, but that's the guy that's been in business for 0 to 5 years, 0 to $500,000. Him and his wife are just engaged or freshly married like we were. They're just getting their life started. They don't have a ton of money coming in. And they got to decide, do I go buy a backpack blower or do I go buy a shopping cart full of groceries this week?
Mm. And
we have been there, dude. It is like painfully seared into my brain. Like when I bought my second Red Max 5150 leaf blower, I had 2 leaf blowers on my trailer. I had 1 rack because I couldn't afford a second leaf blower rack on my little 6x12 trailer. And I remember the financial decision Liz and I debated about buying a second $400 leaf blower for the rig and the crew, which was me and a part-time buddy. And I was like, Liz, I think we need this. And she's like, it's $450. And I'm like, I know, but I'm getting done quicker than my guys are. And we only have one guy to leaf blow. And it's like, It sounds so remedial, dude. It sounds so basic. It sounds so newbie, but I don't know if you guys can relate, but man, I remember like looking at a leaf blower and being like $450.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm just that guy where I got started so far back, and maybe some of you guys listening in, like your debate on a $600 leaf blower was 10 minutes because you just didn't know what brand to go with.
Yeah. You say that, I don't think everybody is that way. That's the thing. They're still, I mean, what you're saying is not insignificant. I mean, I know people, I know businesses that have reached out and that are in that same boat of having to make those tough decisions. And we can't ever forget that.
For real.
You can't ever forget where you came from. And that's I'm not raking in money by any means, but I'm at the point now in my business where if I have to buy a $600 leaf blower, I can do it. And
sure,
but you can't forget that. You can't forget the 2 years ago where I was in that same scenario. I was, man, like we had to have a legit conversation and say, look, I don't know if I can, like, this is a big purchase. I mean, it's going to help us, but it's a big purchase. It's a sacrifice. And you just can't ever forget that.
I try not to, man. Like, a company wants to send me a mower for $12,000. Like, hell yeah, I'll take that mower. Like, why would I not take that deal?
Yeah.
Like, that saves my family $12,000. I mean, that allows me to go take care of Emmy and my wife Liz in a different capacity with $12,000 that doesn't got to come out of my family's budget.
Yeah.
And my role and my responsibility that we've I don't know, like got into this position with having it on the YouTube channel is to make sure that I review it correctly and I shoot you guys straight and we don't BS. We don't
fudge anything. Sell out for money.
No, not at all. One thing too, I was like, man, I wish somebody was reviewing stuff 15 years ago because I bought the first of everything wrong.
Yep.
I bought the wrong vehicle. I bought the wrong truck. I bought the wrong trailer. I bought the wrong leaf blowers. I bought the wrong mower. I bought an X-Mark Viking and had a fixed deck. I should have bought a turf tracer for $400 more with a floating deck.
Yeah.
I bought Red Max 5150s. I should have just bought a 7500 or an 8500. It was $100 difference, but 30% more power. I bought a 6x12 trailer. I should have bought a 7x14 because I could have put 2 mowers on there, which was the goal, versus 1 mower, and then I couldn't fit but a push mower on the wrong trailer. I bought a 2x4 truck instead of a 4x4 truck. I didn't even think to look at the window sticker, that it was a 4x4 truck or a 2x4.
Yeah.
And so people are like, hey, your channel's pretty heavy on reviews and making money. Yeah, because I bought everything wrong, bro. Like, I bought everything wrong. We did everything wrong. My software, my CRM to manage my company, I was using carbon paper, and then I used Square, which is like good to check out for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, but it's not for like, it's not Jobber or Element or Yardbook to like run your business, right? So and a lot of you guys know that and appreciate that. And so my whole answer is just, there's an old good quote. Everybody knows it if you've been around success for any length of time, but it's, if you help enough people get what they want, and you automatically get what you want. And I just, I had some really big goals these last few years. And I said, okay, if I want to get what I want, what do I have to do? It's not this like massive calculus formula, right? It's this very simple addition, subtraction kind of formula. I have to help people. I have to help enough lawn customers in real life have a better life. And I have to help as many people that come across my content to, in some way, shape, or form, help them have a better life.
Yeah.
And so my goal is, I told Liz, like, we actually accomplished a lot this year in 2021. We paid off the truck. I just paid off my Tesla like a week ago. That was paid off a $105,000 car in 12 months. That's insane to me and my family and like my extended family. Like, that's insane, dude. That's an insane purchase. My dream car. But I'll tell you what, like, we also took a couple losses this year. We didn't get everything done that we wanted. We actually just dropped an episode today on the podcast, but we are not building our home yet for probably another 6 to 9 months. We got some interesting news, like how much it costs, and then without getting into it, like inflation and the cost of building materials and how custom homes get appraised. We literally just in the last week had to pull the e-brake, and this last weekend we cried our eyes out for 3 days straight because our dream is postponed.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of postponing dreams for my wife, because I promised her like 7+ years ago that she would walk into these things. And as a dude, I don't know if anybody can relate, but I'm just getting really tired of not doing what I need to do or become the person I need to be to get the things that I promised my wife. And so it's getting really old postponing things. Now, this is a nice home. It's an expensive home. So it's not the end of the world, but it's going to take us another 6, 9, 12 months to get to where we want to go. And that's okay, because we're grateful and thankful for what we have and what we're doing and where we've come from, so I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I just, there's wins and losses this year, and I'm just tired of postponing the dreams that I've laid out for my wife. And so I think that's the first question. You open up this whole podcast, like, where's the motivation? And like, where's the commitment? It's like, bro, I haven't even delivered on the things I promised my wife 7 years ago. Like, what are we talking about here? People want to go buy a bunch of dumb stuff. And I'm like, I just wanted to fulfill the first promises I made to my wife 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And so huge. I don't know if anybody can ever relate to that. And, and we're not like down and out and woe is me and victim mentality. It's just life. It's okay.
See,
but it just makes me that much more motivated now, doesn't it?
that's exactly where I was heading next. Is there? That's deep stuff. That's tough. That is a hit on the chin for sure. But there's two types of people, and there's two types of ways to react to that. There's a type that says, well, I'm just done. I give up. I've had there's been too many elbows thrown at me, and I'm done. I'm ready to I'm ready to throw in the towel. And then there's the other guy that says, no, this is just going to make me drive harder. It's going to make me work harder. I'm going to invest more money. So when the time is here to build my home, I'm going to do it bigger and better than I originally planned. and you're
Yep.
going to take that. I mean, take these 6-9 months and you just bank, and it's going to turn out to be something better than you could have ever imagined. And there's always, I mean, there's a reason it's happening. The Lord's going to take care of you, and He's going to bless you. And there's a reason. There's a meaning for it somewhere, and it's going to come out. And maybe it's the fact that you could. That's exactly what, like, you can just bank more money. And when stuff happens, maybe a problem is going to come up that you can't foresee. But when that problem comes up, you're going to have the cash on hand that you wouldn't have had right now, and you would have been in a big pinch. But by getting postponed 6 months, when that happens, you're going to say, "Oh man, we're good. Like we're good. This is why we banked."
Yeah, and that's and I agree, and I subscribe to that. It's called going on faith, because you don't know why everything happens the way it does, right? Like we the home literally, like one part of it got the carpet pulled out in front underneath us with like the appraisal, and that's a whole other like 30-minute story for a whole other time, how appraising works and custom home builds work. But then the economy and last 18 months for everybody, everything's more expensive, and that's just an interesting story there too. But like, Liz and I, after we, it's funny because like one side you're like rah rah, like Mr. Motivation, the other side you're like it's real life.
It's real life, exactly. Yeah,
we're not like immune to it any more than you guys are, and like Liz and I like our loan officer shot us an email like at 6:00 on Friday, like on the way out, so there was no conversation, and 7:00 we're both on the floor spooning in a pile, crying our eyes out because we're coming up short on 6 digits. And you just get frustrated, and maybe it's not a house, guys, that maybe you're listening, maybe it's you were going to buy that mower and you didn't get approved for the financing. I've been there. Maybe it's the truck you were going to buy and you just realized like it's just not a good decision, or we can't afford it. Like we had a baby, and now it's like the baby or the truck, and you got to downgrade the truck to a 40 grand truck instead of a 60 grand truck. Like, dude, I've been interesting enough, I've been to like almost every one of these scenarios, and it just really I want to go back to something you just said a second ago. Like this community, what if I didn't have a Jeremiah Jennings to plug into that was giving me some hope twice a week that I could plug into to relate to that I'm not the only one going out in the desert by myself here. Like that's what the community means to me. It's I actually found a lot of solace in talking to Britt Dowd about a week ago. I think I was talking to him on Monday or Tuesday this week, and I actually I think it was like Sunday night, and he's like, "Hey, how's life going? What's new? How's the house?" And I threw up on him for like 45 minutes, and he told me one of the best, most relatable stories about how the rug got pulled out from him and Brooke about 18 months ago, and like they demoed the home they were living in, and then like the loan got recalled to build their custom home where they just destroyed their home. and he's like, dude, I go, so what's the end of the story? He goes, you already know the end of the story. And you guys can listen to that one again, but he's like, you already know the end of the story. And I said, okay. And he goes, 18 months later, we were able to build our house, and we have the shop and the house and all this mess. He's like, just don't give up. He goes, like you were just saying, give it some time. It'll all work out. But he goes, you already know the end of the story. You guys win, and I'm like, like that's good stuff. But what if I didn't have a Lawn Care Community podcast or a Growing Greens podcast? What if I didn't have a green industry podcast or friends or mentors or lawn buddies or lawn bros? And what if we were all cutthroat and we're all trying to slice? Like, imagine if I didn't have friends and we're all competition, and I told this to you and we're competition. Would you be happy that my house and my business was doing less good, or would you be excited that I didn't get my win?
Yeah, for sure.
In this community, they'll put your arms around you and help hold you up until you can stand on your own 2 feet, and give you some encouragement and give you some motivation, and just say, dude, no big deal. Like 12 months from now, you'll get the truck, you'll get the dump insert, you'll get the dump trailer, you'll find a new right-hand man. And so I do it at every level. Like some people get the numbers confused with like being a real human, and Liz and I have bad days. We've had rough days, and we were balling all weekend. And it's tough because we have like best friends that are building their dream shop and their dream stuff. And it's like, but you know what? We weren't bitter. We weren't resentful. We were grateful. We were thankful. We were humbled. We were, hey, no big deal. Let's, it lit a passion under both of us. Like we're winners, we want to get ours. So anyway, not to talk about us the whole time, but
No, it's just so true. There's two ways to react, and you're reacting the right way. You grieve. You have that time of like, man, this sucks, but then you get your head up and you're like, all right, let's push forward. Like, let's move on.
I'm now I'm gonna rip somebody's head off, dude. It's like
Exactly.
insane. Like I we're coming back with a vengeance, and
Yeah.
I told Liz, I go, we worked hard in 2021, but I'm gonna make 2021 look like a cakewalk compared to what we're gonna do in 2022.
Yeah.
So
And it's so funny because this whole conversation is so much it's so good. I love this stuff. And it all takes me back to, we were sitting at dinner at GIE, you and me sitting there yelling at each other on 4th Street Live. And you said one thing and it stuck. And I don't remember what we were talking about, but I was like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And he was like, man, you just told me, you said, dude, I'm never going to be broke again. And it's like, it's so deep and it's such a simple phrase, but heading into 2022 right now, as you're saying, you're going to work harder than you ever worked in 2021. You're never going to be broke again. There are so many guys out there that have been broke, some that are still broke. They have dreams not to be broke. You're going to set these goals and head into 2022 with a vengeance and a passion that you've never had before. And kind of talk real quick, I mean, about your goals for 2022 and your vision casting. I mean, I know that's what you do so well and what you send out to your audience. Talk about that really quick, maybe some personal, but even like some advice to those guys that are out there that are saying, dude, I'm never going to be broke again. Like 2022 is my year, but how do I get started setting goals?
Well, I did a podcast a year ago, and something I've subscribed to. It's called Smart Goal Setting. It's a whole talk for a whole other time. Just Google it. It's a very effective way to set goals. Another thing I've tried to preach a lot is don't figure out what you want to do. Figure out how you want to live. So figure out how you want to live, and then work
towards
the numbers.
It.
Yeah. Well, work the numbers backwards, and then work towards it.
Yeah.
Like going into January, every single person you see is, I'm going to get 50 new customers. I'm going to make an extra $50,000. Okay. Well, that's not a bad goal, but 50,000. Who says number one, 50 customers is $50,000? You can get one customer that's worth $50,000.
Yeah.
And by the way, why do you want $50,000? Why want to buy a truck? Okay. Well, a truck is 70,000. You don't hit your goal. Oh, well, I want to buy a new truck. Well, what kind of truck do you want to buy? I want to buy a $20,000 truck. Well, why do you need 50 to buy a $20,000 truck? And it goes back to the whole, like, people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do their financial life.
Yeah.
And we all get so good at the business, man. We get so good at stripes and pruning and mulch and planting techniques. And it's just like, what I had to do was really get on the same page with my wife, really get on the same page with our commitment level, right? Because if you want to go make $300,000 this year, you can do it. If you're going to be in softball leagues and go to sporting events every Saturday and watch football with the boys on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays, I don't want to be the bad guy here, but that commitment level may not get you there.
Yeah. Doesn't leave a lot of time left to do anything.
Yeah. It's like, you got to give up to go up. So it's like, I always heard somebody say, like, you got to go know what you want, why do you want it, when do you want it, and what are you willing to give up to get it. And so to go full circle to your question, like, our goals they're very strategic. Like, frankly, if we just repeat this year, we'll hit our goals. But I'm not going to chance it that everything happens automatic, right? Like, I say to myself a lot, like, you never own success, you only rent it.
Yep.
The rent is due every day. Well, I'm not guaranteed my 2022 just because I had a great 2021. So I'm going to pay the same dues, and we're going to grow. We have a second crew and a rig that we're starting. We're making strategic investments into equipment, into marketing materials. We know, like, we're aiming at a number, and I'm like, okay, if we do X amount of this and X amount of that and X amount of this, we'll get to that number, and that number gets the money we want in the bank and also gets to finish up what we need to build the home, right? So it's not anything super like esoteric where I'm just like, I'm going to be the next Elon Musk. It's like, no, dude, we need to do these. There's a certain amount of work over a certain amount of time, and that's it. And I really am trying to not complicate it for anybody listening in. Like, if you're broke, you most likely got to change your production rates. You need to work more hours, get more people on the team trading their production rate as well. pay off your debts, refinance your interest rates, and in 24 to 36 months, you should be able to pay off 100 grand in debt. It's not a rocket science formula there. You know, it's and I had to like just break it all down into bite-sized little pieces, like, because we weren't the most intelligent people. So I just had to get a plan. And here's a tip: 2 weeks into your plan of your 36-month plan, you're not going to have the results on week 2 that you're going to want in week 36. But when is all the feelings of like, we're doing it and we're hitting the finish line and we're succeeding and like we're good and when are we going to get the attaboys and the praises and the accolades? You know, month 36. And it's like everybody gives up in the first 2-3 weeks, first 2-3 months. And so lately people are like, oh, you bought the Tesla and you got a nice truck and you're ordering a nice truck. And we're like nobody. We're like literally nobodies. We're just regular people. But people are like, oh, you guys got it all figured out. And I'm like, dude, you're just seeing like month 60 out of a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Like, come see month 32 when we were eating rice and beans and living in a dumpy apartment. And like that to me was like the most glorious point was when we moved, because that's when I feel like we made it, because we hit some benchmarks and we like left one dumpy apartment to a nicer apartment. And my wife wasn't like walking around on like the nasty, you know, mystery stained carpet.
Yeah. Mold in the ceilings.
Oh, dude, mold in this, all of it, dude. And so you know what? Our 60-month plan to get to where we're at right now, we just realized it's going to take 66 months. It is what it is. We reset the goal. Like Brian's law maintenance fails, and Brian's law maintenance is like not impervious and not immune to like, you know, not getting his goals too. Yeah, like somebody moved the cheese. Like the economy changed. I don't have any role in that. And you know, lumber prices are what they are. Let's just be honest, you know?
Yeah.
So my only plea with people is, you know, stop just throwing things up to chance. You know, I mean, so many people spend so much time on like, you know, fantasy football leagues, and they know every stat of every player in sports. And it's like, dude, like, do you know what your team is doing this year? And do you know your P&L as well as you know what your football team is doing this year?
Yep. That's big.
You know, like when, I mean, all that kind of stuff, man. And it's like, if I had to pick between knowing my team, you know, my team's, you know, win record and who's trading who, and did we get a new pitcher? Did we get a new quarterback? Like, dude, I don't even know. I don't even care what my local sports teams are doing, because I want to win for my wife and my family. And I need to know our stats, not somebody else's stats. Like, nobody's going to give a crap, you know, and nobody gives I don't need to give a crap about them. You know why? They're not giving a crap about my life.
Yeah. That's
you it. That's it. So I just say, like, Liz and I, we're not going to go back to broke. There's just no way. We've learned how to just manage our emotions, have some business mindset. We've learned to manage our finances better. We know how to make better decisions. We're never going to go back to broke. We're never going to go back to poor, but we're also not guaranteed success just because of our accolades the last 5 years. So we have to, I don't care how hard you worked in 2021, January 1st, everybody starts at 0. And don't be pissed off at the guy December 30th, 2022, who did a bunch of good stuff and had a great year, if you didn't pay the same dues, the same prices, the same intensity, the same work ethic, the same commitment as that guy. It's just be mature. Just be mature, you know? So it's, that's where we're at. Liz and I are literally having these conversations right now. Liz bought this cool, like, master calendar thing. And we're like setting our goals and our activity goals and what we're doing daily to have a good week, what we're doing weekly to have a good month, what we're doing monthly to have a good quarter. And all that adds up, man. And people are like, oh, you bought a Tesla for 105 grand. It's like, dude, I did the work for the Tesla 3 years ago. Like it showed up because we already did the game plan to get it.
Yeah.
I didn't like go randomly go buy $100,000 car.
Yeah. It didn't just happen overnight.
Not at all. So if you're broke, get a plan and get around people that are making it happen too. And just believe. I talked about this at our conference. Just believe that you can do it. And if you don't believe, get around other people who do and borrow their belief. And living on a prayer, man, like Bon Jovi, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Liz and I did that for so long. We had to borrow belief from other people. until we were able to get those wins under our belt and start believing in ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, for sure. Man,
that's the whole ball of wax right there, brother.
There you go. That's it. And it's free. It's not $9.99.
Free 99.
So, yeah, there you go. Well, man, we're already coming up on an hour here. This has been some good stuff. This is arguably one of the best shows that we've had out. I can't wait to hear the feedback on it. It's real life stuff. Everybody out there that's listening, nobody is above anyone else, and that's one of the things that I want everybody to realize is yeah, dude, you're like, I'm on the phone with somebody who bought a $105,000 car and he's about to build a nice home and he custom built, but he's just one of us. He's one of us just hanging out. Like, it's just a normal guy doing the normal things. So that's everybody out there. And I know people might think that, man, he won't ever talk to me. Dude, you're one of us. You reply to people. Like, you're the guy that replies in 24 hours, and that's going to have to stop eventually. But I mean, it's like, I heard y'all talking about that on the podcast the other day. You give back so much, and that's what I don't take it for granted, and I don't want anybody out there listening to take it for granted. But I appreciate all you do for the community and hopping on here tonight for sure.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the platform too, man. If I don't get the opportunities to come hang out, share, help, encourage, then I know I'm off base myself, man. So thanks for still thinking highly about me and Liz and what we're doing, and all you guys listening in. Like, it's always funny. Like, that's the biggest thing I always get on Instagram. Like, I get quite a few DMs a day, and people always respond back, "Holy crap, you actually replied!"
Yeah.
and I don't know where that became a thing to not answer people back, or if it's like maybe they're genuinely busy or too cool for school. I don't know, but my attitude is, if you're taking time to write and you think highly enough of me to write me a note, I'm gonna respect that and reply back to you, because I respect you and what you're doing, and I know that maybe I can answer a question for you and help you out a little bit. So, dude, it's not just a talk, dude. Like, our track record is, dude, we get back to people, we hang out, we help out, and shoot an email, shoot a DM, shoot a text, see what happens. You might actually get a reply, and we're here to help you out. And by the way, when you guys see us on the road mowing stripes on our commercial properties up and down Wixom Road, wave as you guys honk by. You guys are on the road to go mow your next lawn on the route, and we are too. And if you're sweating it out in Bama and down south, we are too up here in Michigan. And we all look at the same sun during the day. We all look at the same moon at night, dude. So we're out there slaying it just like you guys. But no, thanks for the time, man, and congrats to you for just being consistent, having some diligence, and persevering through life. When the results aren't there, it's really easy to quit. And then later in life, you'll start getting rewarded for doing less, and you'll have more results than you could ever imagine off that work. But in the beginning, it's like high work, no results. Later, it's like low work, high results. So congratulations to you for just having the commitment to keep this podcast going. I listen to the show, bro. I listen to the show, and you've had some really banger episodes here this last couple of months. So keep doing what you guys are doing. And if I can ever help you or anybody listening in, man, don't feel that we're not approachable, and shoot an email or text anytime, dude.
I appreciate it, man. I thanks so much for your time. Everybody that's out there listening, you know where to find Brian. We normally ask at the end of the show, what's your why? I don't feel the need to do that today. We just the whole episode was, what was Brian's why? Why does he do this? Why does he do it? He laid it all out there for you, for us, for everybody that's out there in the community. It just means so much that I was able to get you on tonight, man. I appreciate it. Everybody that's out there listening, I appreciate you all as well. As we said, 50 episodes, that's huge. It's a big milestone. Hopefully we can get 50 more and then just keep on trucking from there. But so got some big goals in the future, and we want to go a lot of places, but we're just going slow and steady, building the community one relationship at a time. So if you would, leave those ratings and reviews at the end of the show if you liked it. That really will help us and boost us in the rankings and get us out there to the bigger community and just grow one little bit at a time. So thank you all for tuning in, and Brian, thanks a lot for your time tonight.
You bet, brother. Thanks again. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, man. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up, and I can't wait to catch up with y'all here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green Landscapes podcast. We know you have many other podcast options to choose from, and don't take it for granted that you chose to spend some time with us today. You can connect with Jeremiah Jennings at Growing Green Landscapes on Instagram, or use the link in the show description. Don't forget to smash the follow button on the podcast and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. We hope you crush it in your business and hope to catch you on our next episode.